Okay, this is Claire Campbell, and this is my Lab 2 assignment for PLCs. So this is my program. This is the main file that basically, so there's two modes for this program. There's automatic mode and manual mode. And this file just tells the PLC which mode it should be operating in. So down here I have my tabs with my other two files, and this one is manual mode and this one is automatic mode. So when I go here and I turn on toggle switch 1, the program is going to automatically go into manual mode, and that means that when the program is in manual mode, I have to push the green button for the light to advance to the next station. So this is simulating like a production line, and each light is a station on the line. So when I push the green button, it takes 5 seconds for the signal to travel to the next light. And then I push it again, and it takes 5 seconds to go to the next one. And then I push it again, it takes 5 seconds to go to the last one. And when I push it again, it cycles back to the beginning. And it takes 5 seconds to go back to the blue light. So, and the way that this works is, here's my program here. I have timers, and each one is for 5 seconds, and each timer corresponds to one of the lights in on my trainer. So for the first light, the only condition for it to come on is the push button, and that starts the first timer. Now the reason it works with only the push button is because this is the first one, and it's not gonna reset to 0. So when I push the button each subsequent time, this timer will already have accumulated 5 seconds, so it won't go back to this one until I hit the button to turn off the red light, and that resets everything. So I have my push button 1, and the way that I keep this latched when I push the button, because I let go of the button almost immediately, but the timer keeps running, and that's because I'm using a latch here. I'm using the timer as a latch. So once the timer is engaged, it latches itself on, and once it accumulates 5 seconds, it disengages, and this is no longer true. So that rung is no longer in operation. And then after the timer disengages, this rung becomes true here, this input, and the output is the blue light. So the blue light comes on, and it'll stay lit as long as timer 1 is done, until I hit the button again, which makes these inputs true, and I have an unlatch for the blue light on this rung, and so on, and it goes that way through the program. And then at the end, I have a final rung with resets for all the timers. This is what I was just talking about. So when the red light is on and I push the button, it's going to reset everything. It's going to reset all my timers over here, and it's going to go back and cycle back to the beginning and start with the first timer again, because that one will be a 0, and so this rung will become, these conditions will be met. So that's my manual mode. And then for automatic mode, well, first of all, I'll go into my main program file and I'll show you. When I turn off this toggle switch and I turn on the second toggle switch, that rung becomes, these conditions become true, and it jumps to subroutine file 6, which is my automatic mode file. And for this file, I have 4 timers, 1 for each light, similar to manual mode. But in this file, the timer counts to 5, and while it's engaged, you can see on the next rung, while it's engaged, it's turning on the corresponding light. when it is no longer engaged. So it becomes the condition for the next timer. So when timer 1 is disengaged, here it is right now, it's disengaged, and timer 2 is counting. Oh, that was quick. Now it's timer 3. But while timer 2 is engaged, the green light is on, and when it disengages, it turns on timer 3. And for each timer, I also have an unlatch for the previous light so that the lights don't stay on while they're cycling through. And here's my PLC trainer with the lights turning on in a sequence. And the other thing I added to this program, as specified in our instructions, was a reset button, which is the red button. And when I push that button, it starts over at the beginning. So you have your blue light on, and it goes to the green light, and I hit the reset, and it goes back to the beginning of the cycle. And that is down at the bottom of my program. You can see I have a red push button here, and over here, timer 1 reset. And the output is a little reset here. And that just resets timer 1, which makes it go back to timer 1. So the program goes back to timer 1, and it starts over. And that is my production line simulation program.